This is Dream Chasers, Episode 7, with RAQUEL Borras. Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Adam Carswell, and welcome to Dream Chasers, Interviews with the Future. On Dream Chasers, we interview individuals with supernatural amounts of potential based on early success in their careers. Thank you for tuning in. Now let's get straight to the interview. Hey guys, this is Adam Carswell, and welcome to another episode of Dream Chasers. Today I'm joined by RAQUEL Borras, one of the most active home lenders in the Washington, D.C. area. She's with First Home Mortgage, and not to mention also a networking genius. RAQUEL, how is your day going?
It's going well so far. Thank you. Happy Friday.
RAQUEL, tell me, how long have you been a lender?
Well, I actually am very new to the industry, believe it or not. I'm about 3 years in. I kind of happened to stumble upon it, so it all happened very organically. I do have my NMLS, so I could technically originate it if I wanted to, but I am lucky enough to be involved with business development. So I kind of get to do the fun part of it all, the networking events and building relationships. And so I specifically actually do business development for multicultural lending. So my job at First Home is to really bring diversity to our company. So that would include hiring more Hispanic loan officers, for instance, more African American loan officers, and just really get involved with the community and let them know that we're here to service everyone. So that's essentially my role.
Right, that's good. And I bet you've probably met some very diverse people over the past 3 years.
I have. I've been very lucky enough to meet some actually amazing people.
When did you first realize that this was something you wanted to take to the next level?
I think once I got into the industry, I realized, we make dreams come true with homeownership. So you realize wow, we really have this kind of platform to really help the community. And so I knew that it was a great platform not to only help with homeownership, but just to help in general. So that's why I'm super active in the community as well, because I feel like it's important to show that you care. You don't just want people's business. So that's, kind of just took a whole life of its own, to be honest. I never imagined that in 3 years I would already be in this position and know as many people and be as active. So I feel really blessed.
Absolutely. I can definitely say from the real estate space as well in this area, everyone knows RAQUEL Borras.
And it was not on purpose. I tell people it honestly was just very organic.
Yeah, that's great. You got to keep it organic.
Yes.
You kind of just answered this question a little bit, but what is your why? Why do you do what you do? Especially
in this industry, I think, there is a stigma to it, especially on the mortgage side where it's been kind of white male dominated. And so I love that I am in a place where I can be a voice for females, for Hispanic females, being that I'm half Mexican. So I love that I'm out there trying to encourage young folks from all different backgrounds that, hey, the mortgage industry, real estate industry, it could be a place for you. It's not, let's not pigeonhole ourselves. And so that's why I do it. And I'm on different organizations, for instance, the National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals. I sit on their board. I just started a chapter for NAMBA, which is the National Association of Minority Mortgage Bankers of America. So we just had our chapter launch in Northern Virginia last night. And so really it is about educating, empowering, just all really amazing stuff. So that's what keeps me going, just knowing that I'm helping and paying it forward.
Right. And to get involved with the organizations that you represent, from what I recall, you don't have to be Hispanic or, minority. Nope. You can be anyone and attend these meetings, correct?
Correct. So for instance, with NAREB, people automatically tell me, but I'm not Hispanic. I go, but the mission of NAREB is to help sustainable Hispanic homeownership. So yeah, everybody can help, and then especially with NAMBA as well, people, I'm a white male, I'm not a minority. So why should I be involved? Because you should be involved because there's education. We're there to help. We want to bring in new blood. It's one of those things where I think people tend to believe like, oh, this one particular group, that one particular group, they're just trying to help their own. And that's not the case. We're all trying to help each other, really, at the end of the day.
Right. You start to help each other and everything begins to come full circle.
Yes.
So what would you say are the downsides to being in your industry and what are the positives?
So as you probably can attest to this, the market is always kind of crazy and volatile, and especially right now. So it can be very stressful. Even though I do business development, if things aren't going well, then my job is a little more stressful too, because I'm pressured into, doing more, finding more loan officers and so forth. So it could be a little stressful. Believe me, I every day wonder, oh gosh, am I still going to have my job tomorrow? It kind of feeds me and drives me to do, to be as active as I am, because nothing is guaranteed. But obviously the positive is that we're helping someone achieve the American dream of homeownership. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what we're doing. And I think that's awesome. And, so that definitely is the biggest positive.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more with that. What industry leaders and role models are you inspired by?
So the funny thing is that when I got into this industry, I was hired on for a builder business. And then the owners of a previous company that I was at asked me to basically create a Hispanic division, because they realized that 47% of first-time home buyers in the country are Hispanic. So obviously they're like, well, we need to go ahead and tap into that market. Well, I had no clue where to start. So I literally started Googling Hispanic home or businesses owned by Hispanics for mortgage. I just literally put in keywords, Hispanic mortgage homeowners, and funny enough, New American Funding kept popping up, and Patty Arvielo kept popping up, and Frank Fuentes kept popping up. So I started literally stalking these people and kind of trying to emulate what they were doing. And funny enough, I'll never forget via LinkedIn, Frank Fuentes, he's actually the national multicultural lending. He does all of it for New American Funding. So he had reached out to me on LinkedIn, and I'll never forget when he did, and he wanted to meet me at a conference that we were both going to attend in DC. I was ecstatic, because that's when I realized, okay, what I'm doing on LinkedIn is I'm doing what's right, because the fact that Frank knows who I am and wants to meet me. So that was kind of like the first clue that, okay, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing here. So then we met, and then funny enough, Patty Arvielo, she ended up having a mentorship program, because she's been in the industry forever, and she's the CEO of the company, and she wanted to give back, and she's Mexican, and she's out in California. So I applied for the mentorship program, and they only accepted, I think, 20 candidates first. So I was part of her program. She did the same thing we're doing now with little Zoom videos, and she spoke about, how she ended up where she did and gave us advice. And so she's been a mentor to me, and I love that she's paying it forward, because I would love to eventually be able to be that to somebody else as well. But yeah, those kind of were the ones that inspired me and still inspire me, actually.
Right. Yeah. So do you continue to preserve those relationships? Are you in touch with them? And
yes, I love that Frank and I have actually become friends.
you're on his team now. You're playing side by side.
Yes. So I love it. And just in general, doing a lot of the advocacy stuff that I do as well for the community. I'm meeting a lot of the influential leaders in the community, and I'm getting kind of, also the same thing, taking our relationship to the next step where they're friendships. And for me, that's really important.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think when individuals like that become your friends, that also speaks to who you are becoming. And now I'm sure you have, maybe whether you realize it or not, plenty of individuals that were in your shoes that now desire the day for RAQUEL Borras to enter their LinkedIn message box.
Yes, it is kind of funny how when I go out to events, people are like, oh my gosh, I see you all over LinkedIn. Can I get a picture with you? Because they see the power of like those connections. And even with me, if I have someone like my picture or say something on my post that actually has a lot of influence, it's amazing how suddenly like my views increase. And so I like to do that for other people as well. I'm not going to be selfish and just be like, no, I want, I try to help as much as well.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that from what I've also personally observed from you all.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
How do you want, so based on that, what we just said, how do you want your personal brand to be perceived?
Yeah, that's a funny question because I didn't realize that I was branding myself until lately, where people are like, wow, your brand. I'm thinking, wow, I never really thought about the fact that I am a brand. And so when I saw this question, I really sat there and thought about it and was like, okay, what is it that I want people to perceive me as? And I do try to carry myself in a way where it's professional, obviously, but also show that I'm genuine. I'm a goofball. I'm kind of a dork. I really am. And so it's important that I don't try to be something that I'm not. And so that's really important for me as well. I do want to show that I do want to pay it forward and give back. I don't, when I do my post or when I meet people, I try to have it be about them as well. Because really at the end of the day, I just love helping people. So it's kind of showing that I do have compassion and that I do want to help. I mean, at the end of the day, honestly, that's makes me happy.
Right. So yeah, your brand is authentic and genuine, and you want to make that message as authentic and genuine as possible.
Yes. And it can be difficult sometimes. I won't lie, because you really do. I think a lot of people want you to be perfect or have this perfect image of you, but at the end of the day, none of us are perfect.
Right.
So it's important that everyone kind of can embrace that and not be so judgy about it either. We all make mistakes. We're all human. Believe me, I've had a lot of ups and downs, and like they said, it's about picking yourself back up and just keep going.
Just keep swimming.
Yep.
What do you do for inspiration? I know you just mentioned earlier before we started the interview, you take yoga, or you have yoga classes.
Yes.
Anything else like that you do for inspiration?
I actually paint, which I think I had spoken to you and Allie about earlier.
Right. Yep.
Yes, I do like to paint. I do love music. I like to dance. I'm actually a very creative person. So the fact that I'm in the mortgage space is kind of comical.
That's why we need you in there.
Yes, being that I was an art history major in college at UCLA. I come from an artistic background. So I do try to keep the creative side going because I think it's important. Yep. And it does bring a different element to what I do. I think it's important for everyone to be as well-rounded as they can be. And the yoga, I used to actually teach yoga in cycle for years. Wow, and then I got out of it, kind of, climbing the corporate ladder. And now I realize how important it is to get back into yoga, to really center yourself. Because I think in this business, you can kind of get carried away and get really stressed out. And also I need to make sure that I remain humble. So yoga really does that for me. It really grounds me, centers me, and makes me, look into myself and really be like, okay, what is your purpose? And then just kind of live your life in that way. So it's good that I'm back in it. I already feel kind of the zen, if you will.
Nice. Yeah, I've been going to a few hot yoga classes recently, and I've done regular yoga before, but I can definitely say the hot yoga, after you finish, you feel like a new person.
Oh, yes. It's amazing. And then especially with hot yoga, I mean, you're detoxing. You're getting all those toxins out of your body, which is, really helps as well.
Mm-hmm. Where do you see yourself in 3 years?
I actually see myself essentially still doing the same thing, but just kind of on a bigger scale. The company I work for isn't national, which is fine. But I think, they might eventually want to take it to that level. And so, I could kind of grow with them nationally. But really, I honestly love what I'm doing, and I want to continue to do it. But yeah, I think on a kind of a bigger scale, maybe get more involved on the advocacy side. Just take advantage that I have a voice and use it for the greater good.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a fair 3-year vision. You're definitely making an impact at a regional level right now. So I think it would definitely not be expected, but personally, I know in 3 years, I will not be surprised if you are that person doing the mentorship program for individuals like yourself around the country.
Well, I appreciate that. That would definitely be a hashtag goals.
Maybe bigger. I'm going to set a bigger goal for you, international after that.
You know what? Actually, I would like to eventually take it international too, just being that I speak fluent Spanish. It was technically my first language. My entire family still lives in Mexico.
Wow.
So I do kind of feel at some point, my kids are getting older and it'll give me the flexibility to be able to travel more. And so I would love to be able to be international.
There we go.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for young entrepreneurs, lenders, individuals who are going to be doing what you're currently doing? And can you give an example of maybe something that you wish you had done differently looking back?
I don't know if I would have done anything differently, because honestly, I feel that the way it just kind of unraveled, it wouldn't have happened unless I did it the way I did it. If that makes sense.
Uh-huh.
So I wouldn't do anything differently. Advice I would give is to really align yourself with the people that you look up to. So I think a lot of people assume, oh, that person is way up there, so there's no way that they would ever want to talk to me or ever want to give me advice or anything. So I think that it's important that young entrepreneurs and lenders just try to reach out to these people, because at the end of the day, if you have no guidance, it's really difficult, so it's building those relationships, those connections, really putting yourself out there. I know for a lot of people, networking in the social scene is scary for a lot of introverts, especially, but it's really important. I mean, we're in a day and age now where social media is big, and I just think that you really kind of just have to put yourself out there, because, it's like out of sight, out of mind these days, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So that's what I would really kind of encourage them to do, is really align yourself with those people, go out there, make the connections, ask for help, ask for guidance. Right.
And an example of something that maybe you wish you would have done differently, looking back in your career.
Something that I was trying to think about that too. You know what? I think even just the fact that I'm going to be 43 and I'm just now in the corporate world, I sometimes look back and think, gosh, I wish I would have gone in when I was younger. But at the end of the day, I got married young, I had kids young. So, I'm kind of a late bloomer.
Right. But we still think you're young. Otherwise, I wouldn't have you on this interview. So
I know podcasts are so millennial.
This is interviews with the future. So.
Yes. Yeah. But I think I'm a testament to people too, to show like, hey, it's never too late. I mean, just the other day, someone asked me, gosh, how long have you been in this industry? And I'm like, I think maybe 3 years. And they were shocked because of where I'm at. But you just got to have that drive and just know that it isn't too late.
Yeah.
And so I think, honestly, I wouldn't do anything differently.
That's a great answer. Sometimes that's the answer that I honestly look for. I like to hear that, because myself, I would pretty much say the same thing.
Yeah.
So, all right, we only got a couple more minutes here. I want to wrap it up quick.
Okay.
I'm ask you to answer this question, your three favorite things of the following, which I'm about to say. All right. Let's get Sorry, I just saw my sister was calling me. I'm like, Leah, hold on.
Oh.
Favorite beverage, favorite music genre, and favorite sport.
All right. My favorite beverage, I'll have to go with wine.
Okay.
And I sound like a real lush now. But no, I do love wine. My favorite music genre, that's a tough one because I love music in general, but I gravitate towards hip hop and R&B and classical music and kind of pop music too. I just like upbeat. Because I love to dance, and I'm such a happy person that I tend to gravitate towards that type of music because they have good rhythm and the beat and so forth. And then favorite sport, I love the NFL. I love football. I'm that person in the fall that I just cannot wait for it to begin. And I'm glued to that TV on Sundays, even if it's by myself. It doesn't matter. I'm hardcore.
That's pretty cool. That's a great combination. We got wine, hip hop, and the NFL.
Yes.
I love it. All right. Well, that is all the time we have today for this interview, Dream Chasers. We were joined today with RAQUEL Borras. Everyone, thank you for listening, and we will see you in the next episode.
Thank you.